Good morning to our professor, Dr. Maria Agnes Pilaja, and to you, my fellow classmates. Let me introduce myself first. I am Aisen Percy Blanadi from English 3-1. And for this morning, our group was assigned to discuss to you about the writing a research report. And for the first topic of this morning, the topic that was assigned to me is all about the definition of a research report, and I'll be giving you some general and some types of reports about my topic. So let's proceed. So for the first slide, it says here that a research report. The term research is the systematic investigation into study of a natural phenomena or materials or resources or existing condition of the society in order to identify facts or to get additional information and derive new conclusion. It is actually a production process that requires a number of inputs to develop new knowledge and the application of new and of course some existing theories or knowledge to build innovation, which may ultimately lead to the economic development of a specific country. Simply, a research paper or a research report is a systematic write-up on the findings of the study, including methodologies, discussion, conclusions, etc., and following a definite style. So the research report writers, in making the report good qualitative, should remember the saying, try to express, not to impress. More elaborately and precisely, a report is a systematic write-up on the findings of a research study, including the abstract, the summary, the introduction, of course, that we had the background of the information of the topic, some literature review, and our research objectives. So methodology, materials, and methods. This one includes some statistical design or data analysis that can lead to the results and discussions of our research, and of course some conclusions and recommendations, and for the last part, the references of our research language research output. So by knowing this, or by following some research format about our research that we have actually right now in our subject, of course we need to follow a definite style or format so that this kind of research may be called a research report. But for today, let me give you some insights about the different or the general reports are. Then, by knowing these general reports or the general types of reports, we may be able to know on how to present some information by the use of these kinds of reports or different reports. So these are the different types of reports. Just wait a minute. Okay. So for the types of reports, we have the general types and some types of reports. So for the general types, we have three, which are the following: the informational report, analytical report, and persuasive. So let's start with the first one, informational. From the word itself, inform or instruct, to present an information. It says here that readers sees the details of events, activities, or conditions. No analysis of the situation, no conclusion, and no recommendations. So for the root word itself, inform or to inform, this report type is actually intended to provide an actual information in a given topic or in a specific topic. This can contain, among other things, like performance reports, like expense reports, justification reports. So the objective of these reports differentiates them. They are only meant to inform, not to promote answers or hypotheses or solutions. Annual, monthly, or weekly reports are some common examples of informational reports for the performance tracking. So here's the example. So as you can see here in my PowerPoint, and this is a sample template for the first weekly report. It has the day, the date, the approximate hours used, and the report of the task accomplished. So that's it for the informational report. And then we have the analytical. It says here that written to solve problems, information is analyzed, conclusions are drawn, and recommendations are made. So an analytical report is a sort of business report that analyzes and of course evaluates business strategy or pricing, like the use of qualitative and quantitative data in the company, while empowering employees to make be competitive and data-driven decisions based on facts, and of course in an analytics. For a simple word, it is like what we are doing right now in our language research course. We will conduct data to provide the recommendations, solutions, and data as well. While analytical reports were commonly used in business fields, by having these reports, the businessman may evaluate what are the things to improve in their businesses, what are the list of sales per year and monthly. And by knowing this, of course, it may help them to improve the things that they need to improve in the next step in their business. Here is an example of an analytical report. So actually this example demonstrates how analytical reports can improve a company's or business performance. Sales teams in this sample may prepare their strategies in advance, address any errors, and make informed decisions, of course, to improve effectiveness by receiving detailed information such as sales possibilities, a chance rate, and an accurate network value estimates based on the data provided in my example. And for the next one, in the general types of report, or the last one for this part, we have the persuasive. It says here that an extension of analytical reports. Main focus is to sell an idea, a service, or product. For the word itself, to persuade or to persuade or to convince. So proposal reports are the most common types of this persuasive report. The best one is the business proposal. So basically, business proposals are going to help to assist in making critical decisions about some terms in marketing, cash flow, like that. So having clearly stated goals and objectives will also allow the businessman or maybe you to monitor the performance of the firm and make, of course, adjustments as the progress of your business or your own progress. Reports usually have a more diverse audience, more than one purpose, and more detailed information. So some other types of reports are, for the first one, we have the incident report. It says here that a report that is describing something that has happened. So an incident report is a method for documenting any event that may or may not have resulted in personal injury or damage to a company asset. It is used to record injuries and accidents, near misses, property and equipment damage as well, health and safety concerns, and others like security problems and the misbehavior in the workplace or the workplace. So what information should be included in an incident report? Of course, the name and the position of the individuals involved, the identity as well of the witnesses in the incident's specific location, and of course to address the exact time and the date of the event. So as you can see here in my example, this is an example of an incident report template. So as you can see in the incident details here in my sample, the job description is included, which is the stacking crates in warehouse, the date, the time of the incident, were there any injuries. If there's some, of course you need to say yes. the description of the injury, and you can put some photos of your injuries. And that's it for the incident report. And for the next one, we have the accident report. So it says here that a report describing how someone was hurt or something was damaged. It has the same format of reporting or like the incident report, but the difference is that these accident reports tend to report some serious damage, unexpected event that causes harm, serious injury, or to simply discuss to you that the difference of the two terms, which is the incident and the accident. Incident is defined as any unexpected event that does not result in major losses or injury, while accident is defined as an unexpected event that causes damage or a serious damage or injury or serious harm. And that's it for the accident report. And we have here the sales report. So it has here that a sales report is a report describing how many goods or services were sold and the reasons for any differences from the plan. A sales report, also known as a sales analysis report, is a document that describes the sales operations of a company. Basically, this report normally includes some information on specific sales volumes, accounts, and cost of the company or the business. And then we have the progress report. It says here that progress report is a report describing on how close you are to completing something you planned. A progress report is a report in which you update information about a project. Basically, this kind of report, which is the progress reports, allows management and clients in some companies or business to stay informed about a project and update or adjust assignments, schedules, and budgets. So the major purpose of a progress report is of course to persuade clients and supervisor that they are making progress from the word itself, that this project is running well and that it will be completed by the deadline. So I have here here is an example of progress report of a research assistant. So as you can see here, it should be included the name of the researcher, the semester, employer, position, and the name of her supervisor. So the first paragraph, it should begin the introduction part, which will be the employer will introduce herself as an employer at her first day, what are the things that she is doing or hobbies as well, and work experience. Then we have her statement about the organization that she is belong with, and of course a daily report. You can see here the typical week, September 25 to 29. These are the daily reports that the assistant researcher done Monday to Fridays. It should be included the tasks that she did her participation in the study from Monday to Friday. And of course, we have the update of the teamwork plan. This section includes all the researchers' practices, performances, and skills to develop their work plans, and what are the things that the researchers may give or may possible give to their research or into their study. And that's it for the progress report. And we have the next one, we have the feasibility study or feasibility report. By the way, I'm sorry, we have here in the last part the summary or the comments, and it is still under the progress report. So this section includes the comments of her supervisor as well, and the summary of her progress report. And then for the next one, we have the feasibility study or the feasibility report. It says here that a report on how practical a proposal is. A feasibility study is an analysis of a proposed project or system. It is also known as a feasibility report. So the analysis attempts to assess whether the project is technically and financially feasible. That is, whether it is technically or financially viable. So basically, in this sense, financial feasibility refers to whether the project is financially possible within the expected cost. A great example for this one is that, for example, a hospital may do a feasibility study if it wants to expand. For instance, if they want to extend their building programs or their building, the study will assess whether or not the project should move forward. And of course, the individuals in that specific hospital is also included in the study. And of course, the individual who will conduct this feasibility study, of course, needs to consider some labor and material costs. That is actually important. They will also consider how disruptive the project would be for workers and patients. And we have here the next one, a recommendation report. It says here that a report on what your organization should do, or a recommendation report, is created to propose or recommend choices for solving a problem or fulfilling a need. So this report's objective is to analyze some possibilities or propose one and support that possibilities by decision. So it is like a feasibility study in which it discusses multiple solutions to a problem. It has also format to follow. I also include here some idea so that you may gain some idea on how to create a recommendation report. So for the introduction part, the introduction is similar to introductions of other types of reports. For the letter A, provides the purpose of the report, and B, provides an overview of the contents of the report. It summarizes the options. Letter D mentions briefly the writer's recommendations. And for the body part of the recommendation report, the body of the report should provide the following: a specific explanation and description of each option, an evaluation of the merit of each option, a comparison of options, an argument for the recommended option. And for the conclusion, which is the last part, the conclusion will provide the following information: a summary of the results or the findings, a specific recommendations, and for the last one, an explanation of the recommendation. And that's it for the recommendation report. And for the next one, we have I'll give you another example of this one. So an example situation for this one. So an example situation for this one is that, for example, Luis works in a software company as a vice president. His CEO believes that changing the machines that the programmers use will benefit the company. So he asks Luis to compare the present computers to few others and prepare a report to recommend which types of computers they should purchase. So in that case, Luis needs to do a report, specifically a recommendation report, for which is the best suited computers which are the best computers to buy or to purchase for the programmers. And then for the last one, we have the case study. It says here that an academic report on how and why something has changed over a period of time. A case study is defined as an intensive study about a person, a group of people, or a unit, with the goal of generalizing across several units. And a case study also been, of course, as I had said, an intensive study. It is actually systematic investigation of single individual. It can be group, community, or some other unit in which the researcher will examine a depth data. So if you want to propose a case study, be sure that it does not have the same study or case to others, or not yet already conducted, because case study tends to discuss an individual situation or case. It can be person, organization, or institution. So upon browsing some example of case study in the internet, I have here the example of a case study entitled Reading Abilities of Non-Speaking Students, two case studies by Martin Smith in 2009. So in this study, it emphasizes the reading difficulties. So reading difficulties are frequently reported in non-speaking cerebral palsy students, cerebral palsy patients. Such issues could be caused by deficiency in sensory functioning, and of course in their language abilities, and the most important, in their learning experiences. So in this report that I found in the internet, this research investigates the performance of two non-speaking children whose reading abilities are within the normal range, and gives case studies of their performance in other skill areas. It is suggested that the following aspects contribute to the reading in their reading success. In relative strengths in language competency, reading support in the home environment, and the other, what is that, in their physical independence, and of course in their motivation as well when it comes to reading, in their reading practice. So, and that's it for my part, and I hope, of course, that I hope that you learned something for my topic. And for the next topic to be discussed by my group mates, Miss Cabanlong, her topic is all about the components of a research report. And that would be for my part, and thank you guys for listening, and of course keep safe.